Okay, so we have a trio today. Welcome to the podcast. We have Britt, Jasmine today, and obviously me. I'm kidding. This is episode 6, and we decided to do a who's growling?
Oh, you can actually hear him?
Yeah,
Thought you
I
could
can
hear
hear
him
him
on the thing.
today.
Oh God.
What is he doing? Is that your dog?
He sounds really upset.
Yeah. And if he starts doing that again, let me know when you hear it.
He's like the. Have you seen him, Jazz? He's like the
No.
smallest thing,
I want to see
and
it.
that growl was very like.
Well, he just got a haircut and taken Madison cut his
Oh, he looks
mustache.
so cute.
I brought him back. No, look at this. She cut it.
Oh no!
Why?
Yeah, because she thought it was ugly, and I got him back like this. I'm like, all right.
He's got some attitude, though.
I
Does he
know.
want you to pick him up? Is that why he's growling?
Yeah, I don't know what the hell's wrong with that. He hasn't been getting much attention today, I guess.
It's
Took him
funny
for a
because the
40-minute walk.
smallest thing is the smallest thing.
Oh yeah.
So,
thanks,
Russ.
Yeah, we're all pretty like Brett. You're probably the tallest of us, but we all have attitude. Tiny.
Yeah, we got.
attitude.
But we gotta make up with the attitude. You know, like our height. We gotta make it up
For
somehow.
sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Little woman syndrome. Not little
Okay,
man
so
syndrome. Little
basically,
woman.
Russ introduced our. If they can hear him, but I heard him. So, yeah, this is gonna be a very interesting topic. We kind of are steering towards being a female in bodybuilding and balancing life and everything else that you want to fulfill or achieve in life, and where as athletes we want to take bodybuilding, or how far we want to go, or what the ultimate goal is with this. So yeah, we are just going to start with you, Britt. You were absent last podcast, so please let us know like where you're actively competing this year, obviously.
Yes. Yeah.
So
I've competed twice this year. So I did a regional and a national, and then I did pretty well. So I was like, okay, maybe I'll do another one at the end of the year. But that was like 18 more weeks of prepping. So I was like, you know what, I'll just do the one in 8 weeks. So but to do that one, that pro qualifier, I have to do another regional. So I'm doing 2 more shows this year. Yeah, it's kind of a pain in the ass, but yeah. So I have one in 5 weeks and then the other one in 6 weeks. One's in Barrie, one's in Toronto. I did really well at the last pro qualifier. So I'm like, you know, I'm already lean now. Don't really have much going on this summer, no vacations, no plans. So I'm like, let me just do my thing for the next little bit. And I wasn't really low on food. So I feel like I wasn't in the mindset where I'm like, oh, I've been prepping too long, I'm done. You know, I was still eating, and I still am eating like 2,200 calories a day. So it's not super hard, and I just have to get 10,000 steps in. So I'm hoping to do well at this next one. And my goal right now is just honestly my pro card. That's what I have in mind. And then anything after that is just my next goal. But right now I'm just focusing on potentially getting that and just taking it day by day right now.
What was your feedback last time?
So I came in fuller because that's how they told me to come in. They wanted me a little bit fuller, but honestly, just muscle in my back shot, I feel like, is what kind of took me out. My front shot was bang on, but my stomach could have been a little bit tighter, and my tie-ins could have been a little bit sharper in my back shot. So maybe I spilled over a little bit too much, but with what I have and the muscle mass that I have, if we depleted myself anymore, I would have looked super stringy. So we just kind of worked with what we had, and I did look a bit fuller, but the feedback now going into this one is just coming in a little bit tighter overall. So kind of in between the first show I did this year and the second show that I did for this next one. And then the one a week out from the pro qualifier, I'm just doing it as I would a regular peak. You know what I mean? I'm not peaking for the first one. I'm just however I am. If I'm depleted a week out, I'm just going to do the show anyway, you know?
Like and then, for the regional coming?
Yeah. I'm just
They're just going to do like a 70% peak and then maximize
as
the
if
peak
I was
for
a
the
week
national.
Out. Yeah, as if I was a week out, not a day out, you know?
Right. Makes sense. You don't want to peak too soon because 200% peaks in a row can actually work against you.
Exactly.
So,
but I always look better a week after my show normally. Always. You know? Always turns out like that.
It's like the cortisol levels go down in your body. It's just
Yeah,
like, okay, we're
exactly.
fine.
Absorbing all
Yeah.
We're
the
not
food, you
dying.
know? Yeah. How about you, Jazz? What's
I'm still in my off season right now. I'm like about 24 weeks out. I'm doing nationals, the national championships in December in
okay?
Texas. So it's a pro qualifier. So I won. I did my first show ever in October of last year. It was a small like local show, but I got the overall and I qualified. So I took
Amazing.
the whole year to grow, and then we'll see what happens in
That's awesome.
December.
I feel like I don't do that. I just am like, I want to keep competing and go and go and go. I don't even know. I have like 8 suits. And I just, in the beginning, when I first started competing, I just did it because it was just a goal. I went to the pro qualifier. I didn't even know what a pro card was. Like, I just did it because, can you hear him?
Keep going.
I might lock him up. But I just did it just because
I love
I
him.
felt like it. I didn't do it for any particular, I didn't know anything about the sport at all. I just did it because I was like,
This
oh,
looks
this is kind of
fun.
cool. This is like a
Yeah.
goal. Like
Yeah.
I like the suit. I like the process. Like I love the routine. So that's, yeah.
You
But
enjoy being on stage and like,
yeah, I like the
yeah.
routine and it keeps me organized, you know. How
So,
about,
okay. Well, me, we
yeah.
already know I'm taking like a long
Yeah.
hiatus just because where I'm at in life is just too much to take on. So I think competing can take a lot of your time, your energy, and when you're trying to situate yourself and create a life in a different place, it was just the bad thing to do. Not the bad thing to do, but it was not the right timing. I feel like prep, if you want to do it correctly, you need to do it and be 100% in very many areas of your life, financially, mentally, emotionally, physically. And I feel like when you say like I want to like keep competing, I feel like I was like that up until obviously last show where I took the time off because I feel like you take the time off to get back into like a reverse after your show, but then you don't have that much time to actually be in an off season, if that makes sense, because you're just getting back to normal. So I feel like you need to get back to normal fully and then have time to build on your actual maximized normal state. Because
Yeah.
I feel like the way we do things is we compete, then we give ourselves like let's say 6 months like off season. But I feel like at 6 months, especially as females, and depending on how extreme our preps were, I feel like that just gives you just enough time to regulate yourself again, and then deep uh into another prep, which is like you're not 100% fully healed in my opinion, and
Yeah,
that
and
is
mentally too, not just with your hormones, but
Yeah.
mentally, I
yeah.
feel like after 5 months, I am okay with food because always after it's, all over the place. But I feel like
Mm-hmm.
at 5 months, I don't have those like obsessions anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you? I know, like we've spoken about it with you, Britt, in a different episode. But did you? Obviously, you as a first time competitor last year, Jazz. Did you struggle with reverse dieting?
I was horrible at it. I completely blew my reverse. Like I definitely have plans for this next one to do a lot better. I didn't even try, honestly. I just like gave in and ate whatever I wanted, which was not great. Like I gained weight pretty fast, but
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which I
I
feel like everyone with
obviously
their
had like a
first,
ton of cravings and that I just gave into and I went crazy. I went
yeah.
ham. It was
Well, that's
not
why
good.
anyone who does their first show, I feel like everyone has to go through it to realize. I feel like everyone's first show is a little bit like that,
Yeah.
and everyone says, oh, I'm done my show once they're done. But I feel like the reverse is 10 times harder because your
Oh, it
body is
is. It
not, your
is.
mindset's not, I have a day, I'm doing a show.
Mm-mm.
Now it's like,
It's like,
okay,
oh, I don't have
whatever.
to. I don't
Yeah.
have
Exactly.
to. Yeah.
Exactly. And you're
It's
more
so much
hungry post
harder.
show. Yeah. And then if you don't, I just have to fight it because I know I'm not actually hungry and I'm eating more, but my body's like, just feed me, please, because it's in starvation mode for so long.
Yeah, because it doesn't know if you're gonna starve it again. And I
Exactly.
think that
Yeah.
happens to people that are like, I want to lose weight and I'm gonna skip my meals. But then no, because next time you feed your body, you've been starving it all day, then
Yeah, and you're just
at
wrecking
night,
your metabolism in the
yeah,
process,
Exactly.
like, and
your
if you go to
body's not,
diet again and you're not
yeah, it's
eating
not
that
gonna
much
burn
food, then what are you
anything.
gonna take from? Yeah.
Exactly. It's not trying to burn more during the day because you're not feeding it. So what is it going to do? It's going to slow it down. Then next time you eat your meal, it's actually going to store everything because now it's like, when are you going to feed me next? So I feel
Exactly.
like for people who want to lose weight by starving themselves, it's like the same kind of thing for us, but in a different way, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I mean, we're still
So
like, getting sufficient calories, even though you're really hungry, you're still eating 5 meals, 6 meals a
Yeah, I was
day.
going to say you're
So
still eating like every 2 to 4 hours or whatever,
Mhm.
yeah. Do you guys believe in the 2 to 4 hours? Do you guys freak out when you don't get your meals in on time?
I don't freak out, but then I'll be messed up for the rest of the day if I
Yeah.
don't get it in on time, and then it'll kind of piss me off, you know?
Yeah. It's not like I'm obsessed with it, but it's like a need to. If I
Yeah.
don't,
Yeah.
then it's
My
gonna be
body's
too
just
close to the other
automatically
meal, and I'm like not
exactly.
gonna be hungry. I'm gonna like shove 2 giant meals in within like a short period. It just doesn't
I've
work.
done it.
Yeah. Yeah, I honestly have done it like quite a few times, but
Like made like double meals.
I did
Or
3
I did
meals
like
one
once.
time. I did one time a double meal at the end of the day. Yeah.
I
Or I
did
ate
3.
one and then I ate the next one like literally 10 minutes later and I had two bowls that made it feel like I was eating two meals.
You see,
uh,
now this comes
not
like,
great.
this
No.
comes in, obviously the time that I ate 3 meals was because at this point in my life I was working like 2 jobs, and I was prepping, which was like another full-time job, especially with all the cardio I was doing. So I honestly like didn't have time to eat, and
You would
I
eat
was,
3 at once, 3 meals at one time?
yeah, because I used to
The fuck?
serve,
How do you do that?
and this was a
This
weekend.
giant bowl.
And I remember, like, when you're a server, you work for a company, you're supposed to have your break time. When you're a server, there's not such a thing. You don't even have time to go pee.
Was this at Dirty's?
No, I can't believe we
Oh.
worked there, but we worked at a very questionable bottle service
Bar.
job.
Oh,
This was,
I didn't know if it was bottle service.
no, that wasn't that serious. But
No.
it was when I was working at a steakhouse, and honestly, I was so busy, like, and I just didn't have time. And here's the time where people will be like, "How do you do that and then balance bodybuilding on the side?" So I'm like, "Yeah, bodybuilding is not on the side because I'm giving my 100%. So I'm just making it work." And people at work will not understand. Sometimes I'll be shoving my meals in between me just doing something or washing my hands, but it's just something that if you want it bad enough, you'll make it happen. But yeah, this was the time where I ate 3 meals at once and never again, because I was, even though my meals were not like Nick's size, because those meals I don't think you can eat 3 at once.
it was
Mine were
probably still a lot
fairly
of protein
small.
to eat at
Yeah,
once,
it
right?
was
Yeah,
just
Mhm.
a
like
lot of. It was like, okay, what's the math on that? Anyway, it was like 10 ounces of 12 ounces of chicken, so that was quite a lot. But
yeah.
again, I got it done, and not particularly effective to do that, but
We don't
I was
recommend it, but
no. But this
Yeah.
time I was getting like 25 to 28,000 steps a day because I was like running around so much.
Wow. Oh my God. And I'm
Yeah.
like dying at my 10,000 steps. I'm so OCD taken. I was walking around my apartment last night trying to get in 200 more steps. And my apartment's like
you're just
600 square foot. I
checking
was
your
going back
little
and forth. That's how like
You could have
crazy I
gone
am
down the
on prep.
hallway, you know?
I did. And it wasn't
Oh.
enough. And I came back and I'm like,
Okay, so
you're just
you
doing
guys,
laps around your couch. Like
I did.
and
I've
I
I've seen
truly
it.
believe that because that's just Brit.
Like if anyone saw me right now, I was watching TV, walking around my coffee table.
Yeah, you're the
There's
worst.
so many times in my day that I'm like, if anyone saw what I was doing right now, like
Oh, I know.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
will
they
question
would
who
write
you
me
are.
off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
literally. So how do you
This
guys
person's
like
crazy.
balance everything that is required with bodybuilding, obviously, and then outside of life, like taking care of your household? You like, Jazz, you're married. How do you do it as a, obviously you don't have to do everything for Justin, I know, but how do you deal with everything that you have to get done along with work, projects or goals that you have for you, time for you, and then your husband and you?
Yeah, so I'm really, really lucky where like I don't have a 9 to 5 because I don't think I could I don't, it'd be really difficult to do it in a 9 to 5 setting. It's totally possible, but I think it would be really difficult. So most of this, I just own a gym, and then I personal train a few clients, and that's, fits in very, obviously very well with the bodybuilding
Yeah.
lifestyle. So that is not an issue for me. My only issue with balancing is like trying to keep other avenues of myself like alive, like other aspects of myself, like my creativity. And so I do a lot of like painting and reading and that kind of thing. Like just maintaining balance within my own like personality can be a struggle. But I just make time for it. If you, like you were saying, if you want something bad enough and you want to keep something going, you will make the time for it. So
Mm-hmm.
bodybuilding is not all that I am. I have other things that I like to do and want to explore and want to be. So I make sure to like keep those parts of myself alive and going, I guess you
Yeah.
could say, and not just, be so consumed by the lifestyle that like that's all I am. Because, there's going to be another side to it where bodybuilding is not going to, be there forever. You're going to retire one day, right? So you need to have some sort of like backup
Backup.
plan, I guess you could say.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then my
Well,
husband pretty much takes care of himself, so
thankfully,
yeah.
don't gonna do anything for him. So,
He makes all his meals. Like I'll help prep stuff occasionally, but he does all his own cooking, check-ins.
yeah.
I'm the main person cleaning the house, but it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah. So with that, obviously, like you making time for it, making it work into your lifestyle, what's your ultimate goal with it? Like what do you
Yeah,
expect out of
for Justin, obviously his dreams to go to the Olympian, and he has more than the possibility to do so that this year. For me, I don't know. Like I want to get my pro card, obviously, but I don't know how far I want to take it.
mm-hmm.
Um, and then like outside of bodybuilding, I just want to like maintain some like entrepreneurial endeavors, like, and me and Justin are considering buying real estate for Airbnbs, opening up more cannabis dispensaries or more gyms. I want to go back to school and maybe get my BA in Spanish, or like, I don't know, do more art stuff, like there's other things that I want to
that you
do
want to
aside from
accomplish.
bodybuilding. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, that is something that we are so ever changing and like always learning, I feel. And I think that is something that sets people apart from like the average and the ones that are willing to do more, because I feel like there's always more to learn, and I always act like the one who doesn't. I like, my mom taught me to do this. She's like, in a room, don't act like the know-it-all, always be the listener, because you'll learn more by acting like you know nothing, obviously to a certain degree, but be the listener, because you can actually learn so much more by just taking a step back rather than sounding like the know-it-all of a room, because there's never a know-it-all, and there's never a time where you're actually going to know it all. So
Yeah, and I don't think anybody really likes a know-it-all, right?
Yeah.
no, we'll tell them straight up, like, no, you don't pass the vibe, it's a no-go.
You're the no-go.
You're the
Yeah, for
no-go.
sure.
I'll be the
And
one
then
to say it, most likely.
yeah.
That's why I get in trouble, but it's okay. I'll
And
take it.
I want to add, like, if your dream is to be the best in your sport, obviously that's another thing to tackle. Like, how much do you sacrifice for that? To be the best in your sport, to be like where Nick is, on the top of the Olympia. Like, how much do you feel like Nick sacrifices for that? Like, if you were to say, what else does Nick do? We're not putting him on the spot here or like shaming him, but like, is Nick just completely 100% all
Yeah.
bodybuilding?
Yeah.
And I think that's maybe it is. Is that what it takes? I don't know. Like, can you still maintain other things? And
I feel like he was the type to, he was lost a little bit in that sense, and he can admit that himself, where he just was all about bodybuilding because that's what he wanted to do. That's what he wanted to do with his life and make it a career and make it a successful career and just do something with it. So he was all in. And that all in meant everything else in his life kind of took the back seat. And there's where he just couldn't find balance, because I know that for a fact, we are, as humans, we are not meant to be alone forever. And if you seclude yourself into that world that he had to put himself in a box, as he likes to say that, because he literally did. It was literally home, gym, not even grocery store. He would just Instacart everything. And then um and then the other times that he would get out was like to get treatment, to get gas, and then that was it. So there was no other life outside of that. And that's what it took to get him where he is now. But now he is at a point where he needs to, there's more to life. And I think he's welcoming that as well, because in order to be successful in what you do, I feel like you need to be centered and okay with every area of your life. And I don't think bodybuilding or whatever it is, because I think it can apply to other areas of your life, that whatever you do becomes your passion and you go all in. There is a point where you hit a peak of your achievements. Like he won many shows that he wanted to win, and then he will go home and not even celebrate because he was on to the next one, on to the next one. And when you go home and there's no one to celebrate these wins with, I feel like it can get to you, you know? So life becomes more meaningful and there is like more purpose kind of driven when there is someone alongside, like that you can build something with. So, and again, that doesn't apply to bodybuilding, but I think going back to becoming great at what you do, you need to become all in. Um, and maybe at first you may not know how to figure out how to take care of every other area of your life, but I feel like if you try to tackle too many things in your life, you get so much divided attention to everything that you're just giving bits or bits. And I feel like that's where I'm at right now, trying to achieve too much, that I'm just like throwing whatever I can to every little bucket, but no bucket's getting full. So it's just like not, it's going nowhere. It's not going nowhere. I don't want to say that. It's just like not efficient. So you just got to figure out what you really want and just like go all in, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I think as long as you're checking all the boxes, you can still have some sort of balance in your life. You know, I'm obviously not an Olympian. I don't know what it takes, but if you're checking out your body, you're doing your cardio, eating your meals, and there's probably some space left in your daily life for other people, other activities. I know you and Nick like to like go to the movies and go out and do things like that. So there's space to have a balance in your life and have happy moments that are not related to bodybuilding.
Yeah. You, Britt,
like
how do you obviously, like, you are way younger than we are. Like I feel like we're all at different stages in our lives, and I feel like
how old are you, Jazz?
I'm 31, same age.
She's kind of my age.
Yeah.
But like in age type of thing, like at your age, I felt a certain type of pressure that I don't feel at this point. So for you, obviously at your age, you're like just like obviously figuring out what you want to do, just like we are. I feel like we're always figuring out what we want to do. How do you handle that? Like, or what's your vision with bodybuilding?
You guys talking about like taking time to do things for yourself and everything, and I'm trying to think what I do, to be honest, because right now I feel like I've been prepping since January, right? And so it's been like a long year so far.
Like all prep, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I'm not in a point right now where I want a relationship or anything because I'm so like on the go, go, go. And right now at this time, I feel like my life is kind of getting sorted out because one, I'm prepping. Two, I just started a new job with Team HD, like taking over that. And then I started this new sales job just last week. I personal train in the mornings, like sometimes four people every day except on the weekends. Only train one person on the weekends. And sometimes I train people later in the day, and then I have to train, but everything's at the gym, so it's nice. So I'm like all over the place all the time. But I do definitely take time to myself and like to hang out with my sisters and my family because when I go train people in the mornings, I go over and visit my family because they live near them, and I go for a walk with my mom or whatever. I do those little things, or in the morning, I'll take my dog for a walk or whatever it might be, like those little things. But I don't necessarily like want a relationship or anything right now, because I feel like when I try to search for somebody, it just never works out. It's kind of like whatever comes to me is going to come to me, right? But definitely, if I wanted to be in a relationship, or if I wanted, if I was interested in somebody, I'd make the time for that person. So like I always make time to go for my walks, make time to whatever, if it's watching something or hanging out with a friend or walking by the water or hanging out with my friend Alex all the time. You know what I mean? So like those little things, I just make time for it, but it might be like a few hours of my day, but I definitely like plan it out. And you just have to have good time management skills to be able to do that. But sometimes when my friends ask me to go do things, I don't really want to, but I force myself to, because then it's like, oh, I actually have a good time, because in the back of my mind, I'm like, no, like I should be maybe going to the gym first. And I'm like, okay, no, why don't I just go to the gym later and go do something for myself right now? You know what I mean? Those little things, I have to like put it aside for a second. Like today, my mom was like, oh, like, why don't you come tan for a bit, you know? And I'm like, oh, I'd rather go to the gym and then just not do that. But instead I was like, okay, no, I'll go do that. And then I'll go to the gym so I can spend some time with her, you know? And like, then I had a great time. You know, those little things I just sometimes have to force myself to. And then I'm like, oh, this is actually a great idea. And I actually feel so good about doing something other than meal prepping or going to the gym, you know? So sometimes I like have to force myself, but then once I do it, I actually like it. So then next time I end up doing it, and I find that I actually end up liking to do that, you know?
Well, I,
Or
I
like,
just think obviously just going on autopilot sometimes can take away from what we're actually doing. And I think you're just like giving, 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 and there's no time to fill your cup with
yeah,
like meaningful things. And I think with someone who is like busy with work and prep, obviously you can forget about those little things that mean a lot to your family and you, because
yeah,
they do take the back seat when you are doing so much. So yeah, I mean, like she likes to paint and read. I
mhm,
like to spend time with Tora, Nick, go for walks. I'm trying to like again figure it out as well. And you just like go for walks, make time with your friends, make time with your family, and obviously you don't have a relationship, but I think the way that you're going through life right now, or the way that I see it as your friend, is just like you are just putting your energy towards building yourself so you
yeah,
can find
exactly.
someone that's worthy of your time and your energy, in that as it's at the same level as you are. And I
Yeah.
think that is just like comes with growth, and you will attract the right kind of man like that, because
Mhm.
it just
Well,
makes
because my
you
biggest thing
keep
is
the
I hate
standards.
when anything wastes my time. Like right now, I'm just like on the go, go, go. Like, and I'm buying a place, which I might go, I didn't tell you, but I might go through with this condo I'm getting. I'm so excited.
I don't know,
But
buying
Oh,
real estate. She
congrats.
just
yeah.
bought a house
Yeah.
too. Congrats, Jazz
Yeah, I
Oh,
guess
and
my
it's
God,
the
Justin.
time to buy
amazing.
houses. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it
That's so
is. Prices have
exciting.
dropped a lot too, so it's good. It's in my building too, but I don't know if it's gone. Like there was a few different offers, so I'm just like waiting. But I don't know. It was supposed to. She was supposed to tell me this morning, but it's also like probably Monday they're going to, or I don't know.
Hey, that's a huge
I'm
achievement
excited.
right there.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
amazing.
So
That's
like right
incredible.
now,
Yeah.
thank
Yeah.
you. Yeah. So
So
right
the
now I'm
move won't
just
be
like
too difficult
focused.
if it's like just down
Exactly. It's
down
just
the
it's
hall.
in
Yeah.
there's like three towers in my building. It's the third tower. I'm in the first, and my sister actually lives with her boyfriend in the third tower. So it's like it's right there. Yeah.
Perfect.
It's gonna be a
Oh,
Yeah.
family
I'm
tower.
excited. I
that's
So it's
know.
just the little things that right now I just think it's worth to like put that time towards the things that you
Exactly.
want
Like
to build
I'm
yourself.
genuinely happy with like being so busy, and I feel like when I have time to myself, I'm fine with just like sitting on my couch and staring at a wall, if anything. Like I genuinely enjoy love being by myself. And that's why I also feel like I don't want someone right now either. And like that's what I do for me. It's just like pet my dog on my couch, and that fulfills me right there.
I
You know
love
what I
it.
mean?
I'm
Like
with
Yeah.
you
I
on
think
I
we're
that.
just
all
don't,
homebodies.
yeah.
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 Yeah, I
Maria,
definitely
you're a
am.
homebody too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm constantly driving job to job training people, like because I train outside of homes too. So like I've got 7 clients outside of the gym, only 2 at the gym, and then those 2 jobs at the gym, and then my own personal online training. So just like a lot everywhere, you know.
Yeah.
So I
But
just
that's what it takes to be all
yeah,
in.
yeah.
What
So
you do.
and then with prepping,
She's like,
that
Yeah, there's no energy. There's no
no.
space for anyone else.
that's what
And
I
that's
mean is
totally
like
fine. There's no pressure, there's no
yeah, and
time
like this guy asked me on
constraint.
a date a few days ago, and I was like, you know what? You seem like a great guy, but genuinely, I just don't have time for you. And I wish I like honestly could, but I don't want to put that into my life right now. Like it's not fair to the other person either. And like maybe in the future, but right now I just don't have any desire to like be with anybody or anything, you know?
Yeah, and it's okay.
Yeah.
But obviously, I guess we can transition into like being a female in the bodybuilding industry. Obviously, you put yourself out there, and I think in ways that can make you feel vulnerable. Like again, we talked about gaining weight or being lean and showing off your body on social media and all these things, and like obviously getting attention from males. So how do you guys deal with all these stereotypes with like criticisms or people talking about your body when you're already struggling but with like your body dysmorphia or your image? How do you guys navigate those things? We can start with Jess. We'll start from the right.
For me, I don't get a lot of negativity, which is I'm blessed too, but I've seen it on Maria. I've seen it on your page. I've seen it on so many other females' pages. I do get a lot of comments about like how big I look right now, just because I am in my off season, which doesn't bother me because I've obviously accepted that what I'm doing is for a purpose, for a greater purpose. You know, putting on weight, like I'm okay with being big, being called big. Like it's fine. Like I know that I'm gonna. It's beneficial for me right now.
Yeah.
But the other flip side of that is like feeling like you need to show off your body for social media like attention to gain any traction, because like let's face it, those are probably the posts that do the best, you know.
Yeah, sex sells big time.
But
It does.
you know, when I am in shape, like yeah, I do like to like post things that make me feel good and that I feel good
Yeah,
in,
and you're
but
proud of yourself.
I don't
you
really
know?
like I don't feel like it is playing into any role, or like that I'm doing it for, you know, gaining social media traction. I'm just doing it because I'm proud of what I've created, and I feel in myself. But other side to that is like I don't really like to put myself out there in too much of like a sexual light, just because it doesn't feel true to who I am. So I just don't really post like a lot of that kind of content, but I'm not against it, you know.
Yeah, okay. Everyone's different.
Yeah.
Everyone like either is more reserved or you're a little more open about it. And hey, that's what makes you you. That's what makes like I just hate when people force it for likes, for attraction. And I'm not gonna lie, like traction is something that helps you build your brand, but also sometimes you have to be very careful what brand you're building with the traction that you want to get,
Exactly.
because that's just going to attract the wrong audience. And again, you don't have like an honest audience that's going to be like, oh yeah, if you promote this product that you genuinely like, I'm going to support you and buy it. That's not the audience that you're going to get. The audience that you're going to get is just someone hoping that you create an OnlyFans. So that is the kind of like line that you have to draw and see, like really show who you really are. And like I said, like between being too slutty and keeping it classy. Because I know, again, I've said this before, and when we try to show off our physiques, it can really like be like cross that line real quick.
We sometimes look at it in a completely different way than someone else would look at it. Like when I post my back shot on my story or whatever, or a post, to me it's like, oh, look at my progress, or you know, I'm competing for this competition.
No one's gonna look at your tie-ins.
Oh, she's looking at
her
ass. But to me, like that's what was always an issue in my previous relationships. Is like, why are you showing your ass off? I'm like, no, I'm showing my progress. Like, what do you mean? You know, because I never look at it sexually. Even when I look at a guy and they're, you know, competing or whatever, and they're posting their photos, I'm like zooming in, looking at their proportions and stuff, because I'm looking at it like that. I'm not looking at it sexual, you know. So sometimes it can be hard to realize what I'm posting and how people are going to interpret it, you know.
But the bodybuilding
you're
industry,
posting like a mandatory pose, like it's
but see, guys, this is where like the general public, it's so it's so much greater than the bodybuilding industry. The bodybuilding industry is
All
so
they see is you
small.
poking your butt at the camera, but it's like this is literally like a
Yeah.
mandatory pose.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
know, but like guys are not gonna look at it like that. The guys who know do, but the ones that don't, they're just gonna be like zooming in the wrong places. So
Yeah.
this is the part where you have to be like, be okay with it, or again, is your hard work, you want to post that, fine. And honestly, the more I gained followers, the more I actually started to like question some of my posts, because I'm like, is that too much? And then sometimes I'm like, the thing about, even, I don't know, you guys both um, got like a breast augmentation as well. Ever since I got a breast augmentation, things just became a little more sexual in the way that I wear it. Like, I know,
Yes.
Jazz, you love to like wear like baggy stuff, and like sometimes you wear the low cuts tops. Do you feel like in certain way that did sexualize you without you trying to sexualize yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, yeah, now you have to like. Before I had like no titties. Okay, they
Yeah,
disappeared. They completely gone. I could wear whatever I wanted, and
we
it
were
didn't
all
come
like
off.
that.
It didn't
Literally.
come off like sexual, but now it's like it. Even if you could just like maybe see my nipples, like now all of a
Yeah.
sudden it feels really sexual. But like
Yeah.
I do it. I don't
Well,
really care. Like I do it anyway. Like,
Yeah, you
well, I
shouldn't
have an
care because that
identical.
wasn't your purpose.
Well, I
Yeah.
I have an identical twin, right? So it's funny because she
Oh
doesn't
yeah.
have her boobs done, but I do, and everyone thinks of her as like the sweet, reserved person or whatever. You know what I mean? And I'm
the
like, I really
modest
was the same
angel.
person, but just because I have my boobs done makes me so much more Brittany. So even my sister, my twins told me, she's like, I feel like the difference between me and you is like, you just come off so much more sexual. And I'm like, yeah, it's because of my boobs, but like, I'm not, you know? But
Yeah.
it's also nice having a twin with bodybuilding because I used to look exactly like her shape, everything. She's skinny, like so skinny. We used to be called the Twig Twins. So whenever like she's over at my place, she's like, "Oh, do you want to compare your progress again?" She'll like stand beside me. We'll compare. It's so funny, but yeah, it's
You're
nice
like,
having
yeah, I've
that.
grown. I'll show you.
Yeah,
I'll show you who she's a model, like a legit Paris model. Hold on.
Paris model.
yeah,
That's
Yeah, she went to
she
Paris
she
and
yeah.
went
We,
over
then
to
and we
like
both have a.
Paris
She got rid
Fashion
of
Week.
our tattoos. We had matching tattoos as one of two. She got it removed because for modeling, I'm like, screw you.
she
She
can't.
got it
So yeah,
removed.
Like, look at her,
yeah.
how
Damn.
slay she is. Where's the camera?
Oh damn, she's high fashion.
Like, she's
That's
like,
cool.
she did like for, I don't know if I can say, like
Wow.
L'Oreal. She worked with like some like very well known.
Yeah,
Like, look at
L'Oreal
her.
and
She's the total
Baccarat.
opposite of Brit.
Oh,
Like literally look at us in this photo. Like she is like you can tell, but like we're not the same, you know? She's like
that's so crazy.
so pale,
Mm-hmm.
no extensions,
Yeah.
like very, very natural.
Natural.
But we both had our noses done, but whatever. You can't tell, you know?
Did you get them done and like to like look the same?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
they look
got
the
them
same.
together.
Yeah.
But hers
Oh,
is a little
cool.
bit pointier. She still to this day tapes hers every single night. And I'm like, I'm not
And
doing
it
that.
works.
Yeah.
But but again, like that just shows that the way we portray our bodies can completely change
Exactly.
just with like
Well,
an enhancement that we get.
she used to post like you know boobs out whatever you know what I mean, and then but now since she started modeling she has to like really reserve herself, so that's why also
Mhm.
everyone thinks that I'm so like out
Reserve.
there, you know. Yeah,
Well, that creates your brand, and again, that's why you have to steer
yeah,
away from that,
exactly.
because you don't want
Yeah,
brands to think that you are trashy or something like that.
yeah.
Because,
Because they
but
But
can
yeah,
going back
pick you up. Yeah.
no, I think it's crazy how just getting a boob job can really just make a
oh yeah,
difference
I
in
know.
the way that people either look at you, refer to you, or
Yeah.
the kind
And
of
they're
people
just
that
putting
follow
their
you.
own like their own concept of what
Yeah,
is sexual
it
on you,
just
like
speaks volumes
society
about them.
standard. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
but
as soon as
going
I got my boobs, I really like started to question a lot of my content, because the same sports bras now will look very too much. And then even
yeah,
when I post like the post of the picture of And it's funny. I don't know if it happens to you guys. I don't know if it's because I do wear a low cut a lot, but I get so many girls. Like, if I had $1 for every girl that comes to me asking for all my details about my boobs, because they're like, yours are
Because they want
perfect.
to do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
They want to get it and they want to hear what your experience is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then
Yeah.
I take that as a compliment, but then you have the guys asking, what's your size? What's your boob
Yeah.
size? Like, how is that relevant? And I called
Yeah.
someone out like on my Q&As like a while ago because I'm like, seriously, just being a creep. And it's crazy. But yeah,
But when
on that
I'm
topic.
cutting, I don't love my boobs when I'm cutting because when I got my boobs, I'm like, yes, I'm not going to see like all this like rib here or bone or whatever, and but
Oh no,
you can still see
you're
it
still
all.
good.
Like it's like, yeah,
It's fat. It's just like
yeah,
an
I know.
implant in there. It's just gonna still show.
You
Yeah,
can
Have
like
you?
see the shape of the implant more,
Yeah, you
right?
haven't
When
been
you're
lean
like,
with them, right?
no, it'll be my first time. I'm like,
Yeah.
what are they going to look like?
Yeah,
yeah.
mine definitely
Well,
looks
both like
smaller and round, like more circular because there's not a lot of cushion anymore.
well, I had
So
some
it
rippling on the
does. I don't like
side.
them.
I had some rippling on
Yeah,
the
some
side. I don't
people.
know if that's, yeah. But
It's
honestly,
normal.
mine didn't really look that different. Just the top part, like on the top, it's not as full. So when I could put like a bra on or something, it's just like, it's more just, it's not as full, you know?
Yeah,
But they
everyone gets
definitely
like
do look
their.
smaller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't worry. Like they won't be like
Yeah.
crazy different, but you'll just
Yeah.
be like, ugh,
Yeah, I
they're
think
But at
because
least they don't,
I got
it's
over
nice
the
that they don't
muscle,
completely go.
yeah. Oh,
you'll
you got
probably
over
see
the
them
muscle?
more. I did, yeah.
Okay, so
Oh,
So yeah,
you won't
it'll
it'll
notice
be
that
have
much of
more,
a difference.
it'll
yeah.
be like
The
Yeah,
implant will be a little bit more
bolt-on.
prominent, but
yeah.
it will still look full. Yeah. But going back to like the off season topic, because I'm kind of like reversing out of this show right now, and I'm 5 pounds up from my show. And today's the first day, and I think it's the rice cakes that's making me bloated because I told you about the rice cakes, but then I switched from the corn to the plain. Anyway, I just have felt really bloated lately, and I'm like, maybe it's Brittany, it's just because you're gaining weight. And I haven't felt like down about myself or anything, but I just feel thicker. But also, my pumps in the gym have been amazing. Like every single workout, I've been killing it. Like it's like every workout I leave, and I haven't had one shitty workout since my show. You know what I mean? So it's just, it feels so good. And because I feel so good when I work out, and because I feel so strong, I
You
feel
push
good about
harder.
my body. You know what I mean? Because I feel like
Mm-hmm.
if you start looking negatively on yourself, right, when you start gaining weight and you don't switch your mindset into like, this is a good thing, like I want to look fuller. Because I do, like, I wouldn't care if I was 5 to 8 more pounds heavier, like what I am right now, like in my off season. You know what I mean? And because I like a little bit more curvature, you know, and I don't love my veins sticking out all the
Mm-hmm.
time, right? But if you kind how I prepare myself for post show is I always tell myself this thing. I told you this before, Maria. Whenever I look in the mirror and I'm super lean and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so proud of myself. I got this lean. It's kind of like a freaky, cool thing. I always tell myself as soon as that hits my head, it's like, okay, but this is just temporary. You're not going to always look like this. Because then I tell myself, like,
Mm-hmm.
don't think that this is how your body always looks because it's not going to always look like this, you know? And then
Yeah.
so when I start looking the other way, I'm like, yeah, Brittany, you told yourself this is going to happen. Like, you know, you're going to be gaining weight. So that's very easy for me instead of going from this is how I look and then being like, what the hell happens, you know? So I constantly am
Mm-hmm.
reminding me when I'm cutting that this is just temporary. I always say that to myself. So it's much easier. But I also find that when you feel good about yourself and look at yourself in a positive way, you mentally are so much more there. Like if you start coming down on your body when you're gaining weight, your mental, like it's just going to go off. You know what I mean? So I
Yeah.
feel like you just mentally have to tell yourself, like, this is what I need to be doing right now to get to my goal. This is what I should be doing. And if you're in a good mental mindset about that, it won't be as hard on you, I find.
Yeah, there's a purpose to
Yeah.
every
Great
phase.
point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But I
you
feel
kind of
like,
like box it off, like box off these like ideas of yourself. Like,
mm-hmm.
you know it's going to be temporary. So you're okay with how you look in that moment. You kind of box it off, put it to the side. Yeah, I
Exactly. Or
think
when
that's a
someone
really
says,
good.
oh, you're so lean, always be like, oh, yeah, I know. I'm only 10 pounds heavier than I am now, but I'm just cutting right now. Like, that's what I say because I like tell myself
Well, because you have
constantly,
to
like,
justify, yeah, because you kind of
I
have to
know
justify the reason why you look
to
like that.
save me
But it
though
shouldn't have to
for
even be like that.
I
It's
know,
like,
but
Yeah, when
like
it's that
sometimes I'll
freaky
say it,
freaky
yeah.
but
point.
yeah, like sometimes I'll say it, but I don't ever think that someone's it's like sometimes I question if they're saying it in a negative way or positive way, but it's just more I don't care what they're thinking if it's negative or positive. It's more for myself because someone's not going to tell me, "Oh wow, like you look so good and so lean" when I'm in my off season. You know what I mean? So I just have to keep telling myself that this is just temporary. Like it's constantly in my mind that this is temporary,
I think most
always.
people just mean it in a way like that's impressive anyway,
Yeah, no, me
unless like
too, me
otherwise.
too. But then when
And
if I'm in a bikini
like
next time,
just yeah.
sorry, if I'm in a
Yeah.
bikini
So
next time and I don't get any comments, I'm gonna be like, oh, like I thought that like I looked good. And if I don't, and everyone's saying it's me on vacation, like my whole family, then when I don't the next vacation, I'll be like, oh my God, I look like shit. But then I told myself in that
yeah.
moment, like I am gonna look fine, you know? It's just more for
Yeah.
myself. I still have a hard time with it a bit,
Well, yeah,
obviously.
like Jazz was saying, like you have to box those thoughts about yourself, like her and looking bigger. So you looking too lean. It's just like all part of the process. Like
Hmm.
you have to be lean. And again, I think like we can all agree. I don't know if you guys, but 4 weeks out, usually I don't like how I look because I just
Yeah,
literally
me
look
neither.
super
Me
flat.
neither. I hate it.
Like, yeah, that's the part where,
Just
and
too
like
free,
you
like
as
it's not
well.
like feminine, it's crossing that boundary to like
Yeah, because you're going
uncanny
Yeah.
past.
valley, like freakyville.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
And like when I
About
look at
eight
myself
weeks
in the
out
mirror, I
is
just
like the sweet spot.
Really? I like myself at 8 weeks out.
That's what
I
I was
think it's
saying. 8 weeks
4.
out is the sweet spot.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
yeah, that's what I'm like.
Mhm.
I could I
Yeah,
could
I'm
look like
entering the
this all the time.
yeah 5'4". I'm just like, okay,
You're like,
let's get lean, but I feel
ooh.
like I'm a 4x4 walking around just like to stay
Yeah.
alive.
You're
And I
like,
actually feel way
bye,
more
ass,
confident
bye.
when I start losing those first few pounds. I'm like, yes. And I feel like just so confident. And then that's maintainable normally too. Like when you're losing those first couple pounds, it's like, oh, you feel so good about yourself. But then when you keep
Yeah.
gaining down, I feel like I felt better when I just lost those few pounds in the beginning of my cut, you know?
It's all
Like
you go
starts.
through a transition of like feeling good, then feeling kind of like not so great. Then you're like, does this look good? Does this not look good? So I
Yeah.
feel like you're always going to pinpoint things about weight or the way they look. I think it's
Was
normal
also when your
and
mindset's
expected.
not there, when your mindset's not there, I don't care about what I look like because it's just like I'm so mentally drained by like how little
Yeah.
I'm eating. If I'm doing lots of cardio, I'm like, I don't care right now. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I
Yeah.
feel like 8 weeks out or like 12 weeks out or whatever, you still feel like mentally there. And so you feel confident,
Yeah.
you
And
know?
like physically, you still feel pretty good. Like you have energy and you're emotionally still pretty balanced. And then
Exactly.
that like
Yeah.
4 week, it's like, buckle
So many
up.
stages.
Yeah.
I've only
So
done one, but like I've watched Justin go through it in, that 4 week mark. I was like, all right,
Yeah.
here we go.
yeah,
Buckle up.
and I
Like
feel like
I'm
that's
I'm
where you're
5 weeks
really
right
getting your
now.
head.
Yeah. I'm 5
Yeah.
weeks right
But
now, but
you
I'm just still chilling. Like I'm just
well,
like
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean,
that's what I'm
that's
I'm
saying.
great.
It's a little different for you because you already done one
yeah,
show. And I
yeah.
think like you peak, then you kind of reverse, and then you kind of play around and like
Yeah,
wiggle
I can still have
around
like good
with
shape
things.
right now. It's just, going up a few pounds and down a few pounds or whatever. And I drop weight like crazy when I drop
Hmm.
my fats. Like even if I drop them like 10, they're at 60 right now. Once they go to 50, I know I'll drop like a lot.
And I
So
think where you want to get at with this, like with your points of how you feel at all times in transition of your weight and the weeks that you go by, and I feel like what you're trying to get at is like how much body dysmorphia or like how many changes we go through that mentally can get to you, and it's
mhm.
expected to have like a toll on your mental health. So that's why I feel like you have said it too. Like if you already have like that mental like I don't want to say like brittleness. No, that's not a word. Well, if you're mentally
Fragility, like a
yes,
fragile mental
like
health.
if you're really fragile about your body, whether it's like massive weight loss or you want to gain weight, I think competing is like not a good idea.
Probably
I don't
not
know
Yeah,
for
what you guys
you.
think.
Yeah.
No,
no,
Yes,
because
totally agree.
definitely. You have to have already, I think, a good relationship with food to be a competitor. Like, don't go in it thinking it's going to solve your problems because it won't. It'll
Yeah,
make them
no, it
worse.
doesn't. Yeah.
I feel
And
like
then
Britt described
also,
it, like all the ups and downs and emotions and your body
yeah.
and how you feel people look at you. It's like a
And
Mhm.
then you
little,
should probably be mentally somewhat stable. I mean, we all got
yeah,
our issues, but everything is going to be heightened
yeah,
when you're bodybuilding, and especially if you're taking supplements, PEDs, whatever, all those issues are going to be, heightened times
yeah.
10.
Yeah,
And every prep is going
for
to be
sure.
different. Look at Britt, feeling
Yeah.
like she's sailing, just like,
Like
Feeling
I'm in
great.
off season. But the thing is, like, yeah, I've been eating a lot, doing little cardio, but it's those little things like Father's Day dinner, I couldn't have anything, or whenever it's my mom's sister, we're doing a barbecue, and like
Yeah.
even healthy things. I just want a big salad with like radishes and tomato in it.
yeah.
That's all I want.
I
Those
love a big
things,
salad.
it's yeah.
I made
And
so many gigantic salads,
They're so
like
fresh.
but I
yeah.
feel like they got to a point where it was like, okay, how many calories did I put in here?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Or
no.
like you're so bloated
The
from all the
dressing.
vegetables. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
you're
those
like,
little
oh, I
things I
don't
really
feel good.
miss. Or like getting a coffee with soy milk right now. You know what I mean? It's just those little things that I
Yeah,
still almost do feel restricted because it's like, even though I am
You're
eating a
always
well,
going
lot,
to
I
feel
you don't have the
feel
restricted.
freedom
this.
to just do these things. When
Hmm.
you're off
Like I
season, you
want
can
to,
get away with it.
yeah, like I want to throw peaches on top of my oatmeal instead of blueberries. You know what I mean? Like just little things like that. Like I just want to do that, Or I want to add like 3 chocolate chips to my oatmeal. Like, things that
It
don't
sounds
kill you. Like you
awful.
literally can't do.
Like, not gonna lie, taking all this time off and you're just saying these things, and I'm like, I do not miss that. Like, I really don't. Like, you're
Yeah.
saying it,
Yeah.
you sound a little like too OCD, but I remember how I couldn't even have fruit in my plant. Like, I
I
couldn't
know.
wait to eat a
Like a
mango
fresh
after the shit.
strawberry. Yeah, like, oh,
Yeah.
I just want a
Yeah.
fucking
And it's
watermelon.
crazy because we talk like that. People are like, then have it. And you're like, I could, but then you have a show to win. But then
Yeah.
post show, all this shit just goes like to shit, and you're like, fuck it. I'm gonna go and eat everything I've been craving, and then you just go balls to the wall. I made that mistake so many times. I think
Well, this
three
prep
post
though,
shows I was like,
sorry, I was gonna say that this prep though, I realized I only like soy milk and like only like a little splash of it makes such a difference. But I hate almond milk now. I hate oat milk, and because I had like a 2 week period where I could have a little bit of those things, and I hate
yeah.
stevia. I hate it. I don't put it in my oatmeal. No
Oh,
flavored
I hate it
artificial
too.
stuff.
Ugh,
I hate it, and
What?
I
I
think it's
hate
because I
it.
cut it out. And I love the flavored black coffee. If I have a regular coffee, I'd like a little splash of oat milk or soy milk. But I hate,
Guys, I'm
or
with you.
I love black flavored coffee, and I'm like, oh my god,
I
so
consumed
good.
so much cold brew like during my prep because
Yeah,
cold brew I can drink like without
Do you then
creamer.
nitro
I'm a
cold brew?
creamer person. I have to have creamer in my coffee. But like cold brew
mhm.
is like not that bitter, like super bitter. So it was something I could
Yeah.
drink black.
Yeah, I
Americanos
And
are
find the
actually
iced
really
coffee is
bitter.
better. Yeah, they are.
Dutch
I just
Bros
like
makes a
iced
toasted
coffee.
cold brew. That's so good.
Which
It's
Really?
like a
British?
hot cold brew. It's like a
Like,
toasted cold brew, so it's hot. It's like a hot coffee, but it's the cold brew that they like steamed, and it's so good.
where
I'm
is
gonna get it
it from?
tomorrow.
At Dutch Bros, it's like
Here
a
in
coffee
Vegas,
chain that's like
Oh,
here on the
in the
West Coast.
US.
But
oh.
you have it in Vegas now,
It's
right,
on
Maya?
the fun side. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Totally kidding.
The fun
I
side.
No, the States
What's
is more
that?
fun. Come on.
I
Yeah.
was on the other side once upon a time.
Yeah.
It's fun too. But like, yeah, there's not many. Like the closest to me is like 15 to 18 minutes. I feel like they need to
Never
open
even
way
heard of
more
it.
locations. I was like, Nick, we should totally franchise one.
Oh,
Because
you
I'm like,
guys should.
they're so
Bank.
fun. They
They
look so
make bank.
fun
And
to
it
go like.
originated here in Grants Pass. The headquarters is
Really?
here.
It
The
looks like
CEO
the
lives
people
here.
working there, they're like always like
They're
blasting like
always like
hip
young
hop.
kids, and they're like
Yeah,
trying to get in your car, like, "Hey, what's up? What's going
yeah.
on? How's your day going?"
And I'm
Sometimes you're
like,
like, "Oh, dude, I just want to get my coffee and
you're like,
go
please give
and
me my
walk
coffee
out of
and then
my
I'll talk to
car."
you.
Yeah.
I just like roll my window. I don't roll my window, but I like play on my
Yeah,
phone.
you're
Act like
like,
I'm really busy.
and then
I've never
Tora,
even
when I
heard
go
of
with
it.
her, it's so good. I'm like hooked. And
It's
like Nick and I just go when he's in the off season because they have like 12 different kinds of sugar frees, or I'm gonna say 10. So he
yeah, they
like,
do. It's pretty good.
yeah, he gets
Well,
like we like to get this sugar free caramel sauce. I just get
Mm-hmm.
half because they pump that shit. Like we saw it, like
Yeah,
one,
and it's like the
1
it's not the
ounce.
like Torini
Like
sugar-free, like it's like
it's like
the
cream.
sauce.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
a
so it does
sauce.
still have like alcohol, sugar alcohol carbs or whatever
Yeah,
in
so
it.
he
So.
got bloated from it because he did 3 stevias and then 1 pump of that, and that was basically all freaking artificial
Do you see
sweeteners.
some like bodybuilders like Starbucks orders sometimes that are like 3 pumps of sugar-free vanilla, 3 stevias
Yeah.
in
Oh,
like
do you
a
want to know,
medium
Nick's?
coffee. I'm like,
Do you want to know,
how do you
Nick's?
do that?
6 pounds of sugar-free vanilla
What the
and what
frick?
was it? Three stevias and what was the when
What
they had the
size?
cinnamon dolce,
Cinnamon Dolce was the
a
best.
grande,
So like a medium, yeah.
So basically 12 pumps and then 3 stevias to that.
That is straight
Well,
stevia water. He's
I've
just
been
drinking
drinking
stevia
coffee.
coffee.
I've been drinking
I
coffee
don't
since I
know.
was 7 because my mom gave it to me every morning with her, or they would get me an iced
Did
cap
you
after
really?
school every
Okay, my
day
grandma used
since
to
I
make
was
me
7.
coffee and milk. Your grandma didn't do that? So technically I
No.
did drink coffee when I was like 8 or 6 actually.
Yeah, and I
She would
did every
she just
day, and
put
I
coffee in
became
my milk.
hooked. Yeah,
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I need
I
it.
became hooked.
Café
My
con
mom and I
leche.
would have.
Café con leche.
Café con leche. It's a café
Sin,
con
sin
leche. Me
azúcar.
quiero casar.
Mm-hmm.
There's a
I don't know
song.
what. It's all
Yeah,
Christian.
I'm obsessed with my
Got really
Nespresso.
into
Like
it.
we got our Nespresso last year, and it's like it's so
Oh,
easy to
Nespresso's the
just be like,
best.
oh, I think I'll have a little cup of coffee. Oh, I think I'll just have another one. Oh, okay, let me just get another one.
I was gonna have one
Yeah,
before here this. I'm like, no, it's 5 o'clock.
I
Can't.
got. Well, yeah, that's the
They
reason
make
I
really
got
good
caramel is my
What do you
favorite.
the caramel cookie.
Just yeah, but they
I
changed
like
it now. It
Melosio.
tastes. They changed it. It's not caramel cookie anymore. It's
Oh,
golden caramel, but it's the same one, but it tastes more not as artificial. They said and more like real,
oh,
whatever.
yeah.
But yeah, I
They
put
have a chocolate
coffee in my
one that it
oatmeal,
just
so I got
came
the
out with.
decaf.
Oh, chocolate fudge. I like
It's
chocolate
not. It's like
fudge.
just a chocolate one that it came out with, and it's not like
You don't
sweet.
like?
It's just cocoa-y. It's like really
I
good.
hate
I
the
like the
chocolate. It's my least
5 ounce ones
favorite.
too because it's like the perfect amount of coffee.
The
So they
coconut
used to
one
have for
is good hot.
summer for the cold brew. No, it's good
The
cold.
It is, but I tried it hot. It's really good. The coconut even.
Oh, is it? I haven't
Yeah.
tried any of those ones hot. Like I've only done it over
I
ice.
like it cold. The coconut, but
It's
Mm-hmm.
better cold,
because
but it's good hot.
but like I so wish that I don't know, maybe they have like a, I don't know how we switched the topic to coffees, but anyway, the Keurig, you go to Target and then the Keurig has like insane amount of flavor varieties and choices.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
why can Espresso have this cool stuff?
Well,
Oh,
they
then-
come out with new things all the time. Like if you
Yeah, but they
check their
don't taste
website,
like
they
it.
have.
Like sometimes I'm expecting these caramel cookies to stay like
Yeah,
an,
you know,
to
I'm
taste
not
like
a
an
big
actual.
like flavor coffee person, but I do like variances of different.
Well, that's why I
like,
just like
origins.
Audacio. I like Audacio. It's like the blue one.
Mhm, I like
Or
the
Melosio. It's very smooth.
Fortado, or
I
the
got
Stormio, which
The
is like
Stormy is good.
not an espresso, but second cup. I go there every day. It's so awful.
This
They
girl was like,
know me off by heart. It's so bad. And I go there. They get half flavored coffee of the day every day. I know each flavored coffee of every day of the week. Like it's really bad. Today was Irish cream, so good.
love it.
But yeah, they sell it there every day, and it's different every day. So I just go there and get coffee too. I don't know if you have a
the
second
flavor
cup there.
coffee. No,
Yeah.
there's no
Oh,
second
the
cup.
coffee's really good.
Yeah, no, we I wish they had Wawa here though.
Oh, I've heard of
What's
that.
Wawa?
It's like a market at gas stations. They have like the creamy peanut butter coffee. I almost said
Well, I
coffee.
don't like peanut butter, but it sounds
Coffee?
good.
It was
You
so
sound like
good.
Nick right now.
Yeah,
Coffee.
because he always says coffee, and I'm like, it's coffee. It's
Yeah, he
coffee.
does say that.
Coffee.
I've seen his
He's
stories.
from Jersey, so he's got that Jersey
Yeah.
boy accent.
He says a lot of things with that accent, and I didn't notice until I actually started living with him, and I'm like, it's really strong.
I feel like for some reason lately I've been hearing it more, like on his story or whatever. It's like coming through stronger. He's like bringing it out more.
He's very loud when he's like fully energized, and I think it's the off-season thing. He's very loud. He talks very loud. It could be that. His gears are all running at this point.
Quiet down.
But who knows?
Yeah.
Like his prep, 19 weeks out, the pressure's on. How is Justin feeling with the possibly,
Bad.
obviously qualifying to the Olympia this year? It's his first rookie year, right?
Yeah, his Bia's pro debut in 4 weeks. He's feeling really confident. You know, he's really happy with how he's looking. He's just so tired right now. He's like at that point where like he's taking like 3 naps a day.
Yeah,
And
he needs that
yeah.
like recovery to be like on point. But like I feel like as I can't relate because I'm no pro and I have not done my pro debut, but I feel like the way I would like to see it is just enjoy it. It's your first year. I feel like you should have no expectations for yourself. Like I mean, yes,
That's
but
not
no.
him at all. That's like there's so he doesn't like to really admit it, but there's a lot of pressure on him. You know, like he's one of the I think up
Well,
and
he's the one
coming
of the
pro debuts.
picks to win, yeah.
Yeah,
But I
so
think
there's a lot
that
of pressure, and he, you know, especially all that's been going on with him. Like I feel like he had I don't know he doesn't. I have tried to talk to him about it, and he doesn't really admit it, but I feel like he probably is trying to prove some things this
yeah.
year. So there's a lot of pressure, and obviously like the pro the pro league and open bodybuilder, like the amount of leanness you need to achieve for them, like he has to go to some really dark places. So right now
Yeah.
it's pretty rough, you know, pretty
Yeah.
he's
And
not
there's
bad.
no
Like
talking him out of that. He's like 3.5 weeks out.
Oh,
4
yeah.
4
I
4.
feel like after when you're like 2 weeks out, it's kind of like you coast from there and it gets better. So I always tell myself when I'm 4 weeks, I'm like, okay, like I'm like 2 and a bit, you know,
Yeah.
because then I feel like your
Yeah,
food
because
starts to
that
increase a
last
bit.
week you're eating up and the cardio is like
Yeah.
reduced, and yeah, for
And
sure.
you're just kind of getting ready for the show. So your mind is busy thinking of getting everything ready rather than
Yeah.
let's get this done and over with, you know? But I think with Justin, there's no talking him out of that because now he's just caught up and like I have to prove myself to myself and prove other people wrong. And like I can like relate. There's no talking them out of that mindset that because that's what's keeping them going, you know, that's what's keeping everything like every day pushing harder.
Yeah. And you know, I don't know if it's not really a bad thing, I guess, wanting to prove yourself or
Yeah.
prove to
No.
other people. It's just a lot of pressure, you know,
He
and
needs to enjoy it too,
high
though.
stakes. Everything's pretty high stakes at the
Mhm.
moment.
Yeah,
It's
especially
that,
with
like
like
you said, a sensitive spot right now with being 4 weeks out. Like I feel like that's where it, like, you know, everyone's starting to talk
you
about
get in
it
your
and like
head.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're picking apart everything that he posts, you know, like
Yeah.
his physique and like you know, he doesn't it's so hard to like put yourself out there at this point in your prep because people are judging so harshly, like, oh, he's not going to be ready or blah blah blah, you know.
You know, it's
Mhm.
So
crazy. I don't know. I see that happening to these guys, and Nick does it more. Like he's like, I'm gonna post every day just so they keep picking on
yeah,
me, and I'm like, I would stop, but then he has a different like the comments sometimes. Him getting closer to the show is like, oh, you got tiny
Well,
legs.
because
I'm
it
like,
comes
you
out of
guys.
like insecurities on other people's end. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
at the end of
and
the
the
day,
fact that he just wants to keep feeding into that and then just show that he's not afraid to whatever people say, I think it's pretty badass. But again,
see,
everyone
I feel
does it
like I would be the
differently.
same. Like I don't delete any comments off my posts. Like I've had some nasty things. I don't really get a lot 'cause it's not like I have a huge following or anything, but I've had some nasty stuff, and I just laugh at it more so because I just know it's coming out of a spot that whatever they're
Yeah,
dealing with something. So I just don't take it negatively. But I don't
yeah,
know how it
and
would
you know
be
it's
if
not
I had,
true. Like,
yeah,
yeah.
and like.
yeah, like
And
what
Nick's
you're
so
saying, I
confident
don't
with
believe that
himself.
about myself. So it's like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, exactly. It's just
Guys, I
like,
had someone
okay.
comment today. It's like, I wish I had as much money as you and Nick do, like spending so much money on Starbucks on my post today.
what?
I just deleted it because honestly, I thought it was petty and like you just made that person look stupid. But I'm like, let me live. If I want
You're
to
like,
like spend
you're
Yeah.
like,
all my
what, the
little like
$3 that I spend every other day? Like,
and
Yeah.
actually
wow.
they don't know that I'm actually cutting back on that. I only get Starbucks twice a freaking week because I have the pods
Oh,
now.
that's
Yeah,
good.
So
I
I
don't.
guess I can
People
have
no
them
just
one
twice
really
knows.
a
like.
day. Literally,
Brit
so I'm like,
Brit
okay,
gets
I
all
fine.
thought she was gonna say twice a day.
Great. You
did. I
post
thought
a
you think I
story
did.
in the mornings with Second Cup, on the walk with Russ. No, sorry. You post it sometimes making coffee at home, then on your walk, then later on. And I'm like, how many cups of coffee is this girl buying?
There's at
It's
least
so
3 a
bad.
day.
And also
Yeah.
just black coffee's cheap. It's like what, $3? But then if you think about it, it's like $10 a day, and then it's
And
like
you're
$70
gonna
a
hurt
week.
some feelings saying that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know.
if you add that up,
I know. But honestly,
that's like,
I take it into my finances. Like it's a thing of mine that I
Yeah, you
need
have
to
a
pay.
coffee budget.
Yeah, exactly.
speaking of finances, guys, as females who are, especially in the bodybuilding world, where the gap between the prize money and just the money earned is so
Oh,
much, like
the
so
money that you
wide.
spend on getting ready for a show.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
like the prize money itself, and yeah, the amount of money that we have to spend to actually be stage ready is like mind blowing. Whereas guys just literally go like bare feet and just with a thong, and
I
that's it.
I
know.
know.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah.
And then
Well, obviously, we're
let's
not doing it to win money because that would be really stupid if that was
Mhm.
you will
what we
go,
wanted
yeah,
out
you
of
will be
it. But
starving. And yeah, but
yeah.
they also spend a lot of money on gear. You know, that stuff is not cheap if they buy the real thing. But as females, don't you guys wish that, even as males too, like that you learned a lot more about finances, and then just like investing and how to use your money from like school, or even like people talked about it more.
It's so
Like
funny
I
because
don't know
Yeah.
if you guys are, I'm not
on
good with my
Father
finances.
on Father's
I'm
Day when I
not.
was out with my dad, it was so funny because we were talking about like I wish there was a class to like how to do your taxes and like actual
Yeah.
things that we need to
Like
do
real
every day.
world stuff.
Like not
Yeah.
about logarithms. Like when am I going to use that? Like all that stuff. There should be a class just on that, on how to handle your money.
Yeah.
There
Like
should be a
instead of
subject on how to
algebra, it was like how to
exactly.
Dumb.
invest.
Like
Yeah,
the
exactly.
what's it called? The Pythagorean theorem, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
I even
But
forgot the
even in
fucking name.
university, like I took
Shit was
business and
nightmare.
I took business in university and then I switched to college. Oh my God, college, I learned way more in the first 2 months I was there than the whole year I did in university because it's so
Well,
hands
it's
on
more
and I
hands
loved
on.
it.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's like the type of learner that I am. I can't just sit in a class and teach myself. Like I honestly, like I can't do it. Just make accounting like and stuff too. Like I didn't understand it
Yeah.
until I went to college because it's just way more hands on. But things in college I actually did learn a lot about like just Excel and like all that stuff, and they would give you business examples or whatever. But still, there's nothing on your personal life finances or anything. It's more so just, oh, okay, if you were in a business, what would you do with this? There's nothing
Yeah.
on your day to day
Yeah.
things that you have to
We
do.
learned that more like trial by fire. Like just
Yeah,
like learn as you
exactly.
go, I guess. Or
We
like
learn after
or
we
probably
realize we
mostly by
fuck up.
fucking up at first.
Yeah,
Yeah, you learn after you lose money.
yeah.
But like,
Yeah.
if you were to give an advice to your younger self on finances, what would be the advice?
Probably invest in something or buy
Something.
property or buy a
That's why
house
I'm doing it right
sooner.
now because I realize
Yeah.
my rent is ridiculous compared to like what I could do for, with my mortgage. Like it's insane. And prices right now, I don't understand how people pay for things nowadays, honestly. Like everything's so expensive now. It's
And can
crazy.
you
It's like you
imagine?
have
Like,
to
I'm
jump on
not
the
to
deal right when you get
not
it.
talking
It's
down on anyone, but like to have a minimum wage job, like
oh yeah,
I
I
honestly
know.
always wonder
It's
how they do it.
hard.
how?
Yeah, it's hard.
I always wonder how they do it, because
That's why
when
I
I
like
do the
working for
math, like in Canada, I had to, for myself, I like, my rent was freaking expensive because Canada is just ridiculous right now.
it's
But
crazy.
I needed, just for my basic like insurance, my car payment, my everything, and my dog's food was included. I needed at least like 4,000 to 4,500 a month just to
It's
like,
Yeah,
just
and minimum
on
wage like doesn't even come
no.
close to that.
no,
Like
And
yeah.
that's the thing. I feel like when the system sets you up for that, where do you find the money to save up? Because
Yeah.
people are like, well, save money, and then you're like, okay,
Where?
well, here's where you're like, okay, do I enjoy the life with a little wiggle money that I have, or do I keep saving it? But then you don't know when you're going to die. And then you kind of like stop yourself from a trip that you wanted to take because you decided to save because that's what society's telling you to do. So where do you go from there? Because there's where I'm just like, I don't know what I would tell my younger self.
I
Because
don't
then my
know.
younger self would
I'm
have been
pretty
like,
reckless. I'm still pretty reckless. Like,
I just think my mom taught me, because I feel like in our lives my mom's getting a lot of credit on this podcast, but she watches it too, so she's gonna be smiling when she hears it. But she taught me that money can be made, okay, but memories, you make memories, but you also have to be careful at the same time. She's like, never let money stop you from doing the things that you want to do, and that just stuck with me. And not to say that I'm reckless, but like I just kind of like, I don't put too much attention to it, if that makes sense. Whereas like, I don't know, maybe that's the wrong way to
yeah.
go about it, but
Again, circling back to balance, you need to balance out like
yeah.
investing in your future, making sure that you're going to be okay tomorrow and you're going to be okay in a couple years, but also, making those memories and buying the thing you want or enjoying your life, but don't, do it to the point detriment to like where you might be screwed in the future, because there is a way to do kind of balance
Both.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I don't know how someone would do that on a minimum wage.
On a minimum wage, I don't know.
That's where sometimes I'm like, well, those people
Comment
have no
down below.
choice.
How do you do it?
Please, this is us being ignorant about it, to be honest. Because nowadays, I don't know.
When I pay for something, I know when I've crossed the line. Like, I get that gut feeling where I'm like, oh my God, I should not have done that. It's like, but then
your stomach is in knots.
Yeah, but if it's for something
Sometimes,
else,
do you ever question like emailing, like, cancel my order, please?
Yeah. Oh, at nighttime, I sometimes online shop, but then sometimes if I spend the same amount on something else and I'm like, oh, okay, I really need that, and like I'm gonna be happy, then I know it's worth it,
Again, I think that sometimes it's fine. If you do it all the time, now you have an issue. If you go like way over what you can actually handle. I don't know. Like this went like sideways, guys. I don't know. Someone else leave the podcast right now.
Yeah, shopping. I definitely have a bit of a shopping habit that I need to get under control.
You have like a whole shoe collection.
Shoe.
Like,
yeah, shoe.
One day we're gonna do a podcast on like a shoe tour to her.
Oops, I bought 8 pairs of shoes this month.
Let me see.
My wall.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
My shoe wall.
Wow.
Well,
that all of those like
this makes me feel better.
Because
I was just gonna say, I'm like, Britt, does that make you feel better about your 8 pairs?
I bought 8 pairs of shoes this month. I was like, you know what? All I do is train, go to the gym, and all my clothes I end up buying, and then I end up getting rid of after wear them a few times. Well, not really, but after a while. And then I'm like, you know what? If I have shoes, there's their staples. And then I entered like 7 Yeezy drops, and I thought that I wasn't going to get them. And I got 3 of them. But then
you get them all?
I got 3 and it automatically just charged my card. But then I went to the mall today, and the slides I got for $90 are selling for like $350. I'm like, it's a steal.
Yeah.
And then the other ones are selling for like
they're like an investment into,
right?
You can.
That's how I'm saying. That's what I'm telling myself.
Later,
They're an investment, but I've used them.
They'll hold value.
Yeah.
Auction them off.
Nick and I were actually like, we went to try to get him Yeezys because I have a pair, like the slides, and they're so comfy. Like, they feel like you're walking on clouds.
Yeah.
So, Justin has those. He loves them.
And then we went to buy them. He sees the price. He sized 12, so the price was like $450. He's like, for slides? He's like, no way I'm spending this much on slides. So we ended up going to Lululemon, and he got a pair of slides from Lululemon.
Did he get some Lulu slides? I mean, yeah, they're probably just as comfortable.
They are. So he's like, yeah. So I spent $60 on these, and then instead of $450. So I'm like, sure. He's like, if it was a pair of shoe, maybe, but it's slides.
Yeah, I know. That's why when I got them for $90, I was like, hey, I don't feel that bad. And then the foam runners were like $120, so I'm like, it's pretty good. So
yeah, I mean, again,
I don't think I would ever buy them for $400 myself.
He's like, if it was a pair of like of Jordan 1s or Jordan 5s maybe, or
Well, that's
3s,
the thing,
whatever
is
he
even
likes.
if you have like all the money in the world, there's a point where it's like actually stupid to spending money on some things. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
There's definitely bad choices.
Yeah. Like
You gotta
someone
have
I
standards.
know like is very wealthy, and when he said, "Oh, I spent 8K at dinner," I'm like, "You're stupid. Like that's dumb. Like I don't care if you have all the money in the world. That's like,
Oh
why
my
would you
gosh, I
spend?"
had a dream last night that someone bought me a Cartier
Cartier, yeah.
watch.
Okay.
And I was like, I don't wear watches. Why did you get this for me? I saw the price tag. I was like, $8,000. I was like, what the fuck? I don't want this. Like, take it back.
Yeah.
That doesn't like have anything really to do with what, but just
No, but no, it does. Yeah, because sometimes it doesn't matter like
well, like
what it is. Sometimes it's just a stupid
I don't want this
purchase.
$8,000 watch. Take it back.
Yeah, buy me
I know.
Lululemon and Bombshell everything.
I mean, other people
Yeah.
like have like just like different. Some people like watches, and that's really passionate about, and then they justify spending 100K on a watch. I would
Sure,
never.
like if that's something that is
I
like
would never.
that you enjoy and makes you happy, and like probably people say that
I mean,
about
like,
my
do
shoe
you like my
collection, but
Rolly?
it's like
My sister was
I like
modeling in
it.
Toronto, and
You
she
like
would.
my imaginary Rolly?
But
Yeah.
take this in.
Like
My sister was modeling at this place in Toronto, and it was a whole like jewelry event, and all these wealthy couples came in. Someone bought a pair of earrings for $335,000. A pair, not
what?
35,000, not 300, $335,000 this guy spent on a pair of earrings for his
What?
wife. And Madison was like, she was like, I'm so confused. Like, was it 300? Like what was it? And they're like, no, like
What were they
335.
what were they made out of?
I don't know what they were.
Like a
Angel
pearl
tears?
diamond?
Must have been the only one of a certain diamond. I don't know what it was.
Yeah,
But
probably sometimes some pearls are so unique that they sell like for
but
so
still, like,
expensive.
what could be that much?
I would lose it. I would lose it, and I'd probably lose my head if
And
I
yeah,
lose one.
the girl was like, "Oh, thanks." And then they invited her out for dinner after, and Madison's like, "No, I gotta go home."
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
Yeah, a super
I
nice
would
couple
I'd
apparently, but that's insane to me. Like,
sell
what is
those and
going on?
buy a house.
Like, not
Literally.
$335,000.
You can
There's
buy me
no
a
way
whole
because like
G-Wagon.
you could buy a dupe for whatever it looks like for
Can I get a G-Wagon
Yeah.
instead?
I couldn't even wear those earrings. If I had those earrings, they'd be put in a
No,
safe
you would
somewhere.
never wear them. They
Never.
would sit in a box
Yeah,
somewhere.
exactly.
That sort of seems a bit frivolous to me because you're not
I've
getting
never
really
heard of
any
something like it
enjoyment
being
out
that
of
price.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've never heard of something like that ever.
But and what are you gonna walk around? Literally, it's gonna look like what are you gonna be like? Yeah,
What if
these
you
are
lose one?
$325,000.
Yeah,
Yeah, what if you lose an earring?
yeah.
She
Oh, no problem, honey.
apparently,
I'll buy you another pair.
yeah. He's like, no problem. Next one, they'll be like
Let me replace that.
500K.
Yeah,
No problem. Just like that just shows how crazy this world is in terms of like
materialistic
like,
stuff or
and
whatever.
just like I don't know, we live in a very materialistic world.
Yeah,
where
we do.
everything is just
Oh, yeah.
like the name of something, or if you're wearing certain brand, I feel like it just becomes a way to validate you. I don't know.
But it's also, I feel like, how you carry yourself too, because if you're
I know,
flashy
but-
with it and stuff, but also there's someone that if they just want to buy something because, you know, like they earned it and they want to buy like a nice car or whatever, or a nice piece of jewelry or something, I think that's fine. But it's definitely how if you're going around being like, this is how much this was and whatever, that's one thing. But if you're just wear it because you like it and are proud of yourself, then I feel like it's okay, you know?
Oh yeah, I'm not saying it's wrong, like,
No,
or
I
there's
know,
anything
yeah.
bad about
Yeah.
it. I feel like everyone is doing it
Most
now, you know,
people
even
feel
the
like
people
they
who
need
can
to get
afford it.
something to be
Yeah.
validated by other people, for sure.
And now there's so
If
many
you're like a
knockoffs.
billionaire, maybe you would spend that kind of money, but
I feel
Yeah.
like even millionaires are not even that
Regular.
flashy. Have you guys noticed that? Like millionaires are not even that flashy.
Yeah.
well,
But
you're
I feel
thinking like Bill Gates and Elon Musk, like I don't think that they're very out there with like
People that
materialistic
have
things.
money don't,
More like
most
techie stuff.
people that have money don't care that they have money.
No,
Honestly,
it's
they
crazy.
don't. They don't. They don't care. They don't value money how other people.
They don't have any like money issues.
Exactly.
Right? Like
So
They're just desensitized to the whole thing.
money
They're
doesn't
just
buy
like,
you happiness,
No.
says the people that have
No.
money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Literally. And I
I
don't
don't
know what to
know. I don't
believe
know where
with that.
this podcast went.
I know. I was just thinking that. I'm like,
It was just a chit chat.
Yeah.
It was a
Like I forgot we're
This
still
is-
recording.
well, that's what podcasts are about. Like it's just like a casual conversation where
Yeah.
we kind of take a topic and want to develop it and go from there, just as a guide. But we also talk about real shit, like life things, like dumb stuff, like coffee.
dumb stuff. I love coffee. Don't talk shit about my
Okay, yeah,
coffee.
I'm gonna get shit from people for saying that about coffee, because apparently coffee is the most widely used drug.
Yeah.
Let me be the
I mean,
Debbie
there's
Downer on that one.
people, like different cultures have very like rituals around coffee. Like we had Turkish coffee. Where the hell were we? Me and Justin went. I don't know. We were somewhere and we
like
tried.
where they make it in front of you and
I
stuff.
think we were in LA. Yeah, and it's like they serve it to you in like a very small cup, and it's so strong, but it's so good.
How many milligrams of caffeine?
Do they have coffee tours, like how they have wine tours? I would so go.
Yeah,
I would go on one of those.
Do they have one?
There is.
I don't know. Should we invent it? Should we start one?
I'm pretty sure there is in like Cuba. If I'm wrong.
You could go to like the coffee plant, like coffee, like
because they have different beans.
Are they plantations or are they farms? Like
plantations.
Plantations.
Yeah, they're coffee plantations. But like
and you can like see how they harvest them and how they roast them.
Mm-hmm. Like you can see them on the actual like roasting things, and even like chocolate, like cacao.
Yeah,
that's like big in my country too.
I would do that.
Yeah, and you can make chocolate from the actual fruit. You have to like open it and like peel the thing.
What? Jess,
cool.
What's your background?
I'm like Dutch, but I was originally born in South Africa.
Okay.
But like half of my family's like from the Netherlands, and then the other half is like just
that's
Welsh,
so cool.
European.
I know, you make me sound boring.
You're so not boring.
I'm like from
you're
Ecuador.
not. If anything, I'm boring. Latvia. Who knows what that is? No
what?
one. Latvia.
Where's that?
I'm Latvian. It's in Europe. I don't know where, but yeah.
That sounds exotic.
Family is, and then my dad's adopted, but he I think he's Scottish or something. I don't know. Yeah.
He does look Scottish.
Yeah. But then he got adopted by a family that they were all Scottish, so I get confused. But I've met his birth mom before, but I think she's anyway. But I think I'm half Scottish, half Latvian. Yeah.
I want to look that up. Where is that?
Yeah, Latvia.
Where are you looking
for?
Like
its own little
I'm looking up Latvia.
area.
Oh.
Yeah.
What country is it next to? Do you know?
No, I don't know. I've looked at it before, but then I just haven't cared, so I don't know exactly where it is. It's like right beside.
That's like by Estonia. Where's Kim Kardashian from? The Kardashian family, aren't they like?
I think they are. I am not going to go guess because people are going to come for me. I don't know about the Kardashians.
Tell you where Latvia was. It seemed like a dumbass.
Where are they from?
You're like, you don't even know where you're from, like where it's exactly located.
Origin.
Okay.
We're getting a geography class here.
She's Scottish.
Are they Turkish?
Scottish. Why is everyone from Scotland?
Armenian.
Where are the Kardashians from?
Well, her dad was
they're Armenian.
Yeah.
Armenian.
Yeah.
I just feel like you have like a similar kind of
It's because the eyes. I feel like the eyes are like a certain shape from around there.
Everyone thinks that when people guess, I always get asked if I'm native.
What?
Yeah, I always get asked that.
Inuit or like Native American?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see that. Well, we have like Georgia and Roxanne. They don't look native just because
Roxanne, you can kind of tell a little bit.
No, because their mom is so like she's like the opposite of her dad, right?
Yeah.
But are they both natives? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think so.
No, I don't think their mom is native.
No, her mom's not.
The dad, yeah.
But anyway.
Okay.
Interesting.
Anyway, hey, I am not the one carrying this.
It's your podcast.
Why is the pressure coming down on me? This is a free for all, guys.
Yeah,
I mean, we could,
very
you
all over
know,
the place. But
we
Yeah.
could wrap it up if we want.
Yeah.
I think that we've had a good chat.
Again.
Yes, we're gonna wrap it up here before you guys listen to us talk about more strange things that we don't want.
And people don't know.
Yeah. All right. Thanks guys for listening, and we're definitely enjoying having Jasmine around. So we might see her for obviously more episodes. And if you guys have any suggestions, questions, or anything, let us know. Do you guys have anything else to say to close this episode?
Yeah, if you guys have any like topics that you want us to discuss, because obviously we got a little sidetracked, but
very.
If there's any burning questions anybody has, drop them down below, and we'll do our best to get to them next time.
Yeah, maybe we'll do like a little.
I still had a fun time chit-chatting, even if it was about random.
The beginning was fine.
Very I feel like I'm hanging out with my friends. It's very therapeutic.
Yeah, I know. We're doing something else other than bodybuilding, right now.
Yeah.
Showing our true selves.
But we're talking about it, but still.
Yeah.
But maybe we'll do like a little questionnaire thing on Instagram just to see what anyone else wants to hear about. Definitely need more topics. So let us know, and we'll post that this week.
Yeah. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and all of our episodes are up on Spotify as well. So you can listen on there too. So you got options. And with that being said, we're going to end it here. Thank you guys for listening. We'll see you on our next episode. Bye.